I feel like I can compete with and beat the best guys in the world right now, but I don't want it to be competitive when it happens. So when I go out there
Mm.
and I'm competing for the belt, I want it to look like a master class where this guy's not even on my level. And
So every single video that I do on this channel that slightly talks about Hamza Chimaev, like the video that I did, who wins against Chimaev, there's always someone in the comments saying, yeah, but the one who's gonna beat Chimaev is not Drikas, the one who's gonna beat Chimaev is Bo Nickal. And I understand why people would think that. I understand the viewpoint. Getting a guy who is basically the college wrestling GOAT and comparing to the other guy who right now has the best wrestling in the game. So your line of thought is like, okay, if the guy who is winning against everybody has the best wrestling in the game, and we have the other guy who's the college wrestling GOAT in the same division, obviously the one who has the better chance against Hamza Chimaev will be Bo Nickal. But ever since I made that video, I was talking to you guys like, yeah, but the thing is, Hamza Chimaev's wrestling is adapted to the cage. Like the guy, he wrestles you and he throws you against the cage. He used the fact that your back is against the cage to win those exchanges and do reversals and change positions. And I don't think like this point got across people's head, because Bo Nickal, ever since he had the performance against Cody Brundage, I was saying like, guys, like he is good. The guy is probably gonna be a champion in the future, but he did not have the best of performances against Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage is the guy that you have to win against. Like, he's the guy that you go, the UFC gives you Cody Brundage for you to like do a stylistic move against, like get a highlight KO or submission against him to boost your stocks. So I was going to this Paul Craig fight thinking like, yeah, Bo Nickal, he's really good, but like Paul Craig, if Paul Craig realistically, he only has 3 moves. Not even 3 moves actually, he has 2 moves. He has a body kick and he has a triangle choke. Like, that's literally what all of his moves. Like, the guy is known by these 2 moves. And like, I'm not saying that Bo Nickal's performance was ass, because it was not an ass performance, but it was an ass performance for someone as hyped as Bo Nickal to have. Like, imagine like people, I'm gonna use like the other guy who had as much hype when he was coming up in Hamza Chimaev. Imagine they put Hamza Chimaev against Paul Craig, and for some reason Hamza Chimaev not only does not knock out Paul Craig, but he does not even wrestle against Paul Craig. People are gonna look at this and say, yeah, bro, this guy is this the guy who people are thinking is gonna be the future? No, people are gonna be like, yeah, bro, this guy is like overrated. And that's what's happening with Bo Nickal right now. You're literally the college wrestler GOAT, and you're not shooting a single takedown against Paul Craig. Like, for me, that actually says a really deep thing about Bo Nickal. And the thing is, he has a mentality problem. Bo Nickal, we can see in like a lot of interviews, like the way that he always wants to be perfect. And I think this type of mentality is actually making him look really bad, because if you want to be perfect all the time, you don't want to make any mistakes, you're not gonna do 90% of the things that you should be doing with the pedigree of wrestling that you have. Because let's be honest, we all know why he didn't show any takedowns. It's not because he was being comfortable on the feet and he wanted to test his striking capabilities against Paul Craig, the guy who literally only has a body kick, and he still made it competitive. What I'm saying, like, because I saw Bo Nickal saying, yeah, bro, you guys are saying that it was competitive, it was a one-sided beatdown.
I took any damage. I looked at the scorecards after the fight, like not the scorecards, but the statistics, and I have no idea where they were pulling his significant strikes from, because I mean, I blocked every single kick he threw. Like, he landed maybe 1 or 2 strikes with his hands that were insignificant, and I felt like I completely dominated the fight. And
it was not a one-sided beatdown, because you didn't do basically anything. So when one guy doesn't do anything and the other guy does basically anything, it's a competitive fight. So when you make a competitive striking match against Paul Craig, obviously that's not gonna be a good for you. Like, you are the college wrestling GOAT. If Hamza fought Paul Craig, he would not give a fuck about the fact that Paul Craig submitted Ankalaev. He would not give a fuck about the fact that Paul Craig submitted Jamahal Hill and some other legends. He would literally shoot the double leg instantly. He shoot a double leg against Gilbert Burns, the guy who is known by his insane jiu-jitsu background. He did not give a fuck. Did he say that he stopped shooting takedowns because of he almost got armbarred by Gilbert? Yes, but he still shoot a takedown. That's the mentality that Bo Nickal is lacking. The guy is literally afraid of doing mistakes. He literally got Paul Craig rocked, I think it was in the 2nd round, and I was waiting for like, yeah, finally knock him out. But they literally stopped and stared at each other for, I'm not joking, like 10 seconds, because because Bo Nickal was too scared to like go in and throw a punch and maybe get caught or like maybe suffer a takedown. So the guy is so scared of making mistakes that he's not fighting. He's basically not fighting at his full capability. I said this like to a friend of mine. Bo Nickal, he wants to not lose more than he wants to win. Like the guy, he's at a point of his career that he has so much hype behind him that he thinks that losing is the worst thing that could happen to him. And I really believe that he's fighting not to lose more than to win. Like he's not looking for that to show his like fully maxed out capabilities, because if, for example, if he shoots a takedown on Paul Craig and Paul Craig grabs him into a triangle, people are gonna mock him, and he's scared of the social repercussions of losing, as we saw right now. The guy's like, Bo Nickal is like a NPC when it comes to social matters, but he was really upset with DC. DC even made a response on his YouTube video talking about this, because he was sad that DC didn't acknowledge his quote flawless performance, as Bo Nickal is saying. So the guy, he takes things to his heart. He didn't like the fact that DC said that Bo Nickal is not ready for Hamzat. And guys, anyone thinks that Bo Nickal right now will win against Hamzat? Give him like 2 years, like 3 years of preparation and fighting against like ranked opponents, and he maybe has a chance against Hamzat Chimaev. But right now, the guy could not knock out Paul Craig. Like, if you're gonna have a striking match against Paul Craig, he's the ultimate guy for you to like establish yourself in your division. If you're not knocking out Paul Craig, you're not knocking out Hamzat Chimaev. You're not like, if you're too scared of taking Paul Craig down, how is he's gonna fight Hamzat Chimaev? Guy's gonna fight Hamzat Chimaev with 2 pounds more of shit in his trunks if he's fighting Paul Craig that afraid and patient type of way. Like, so I think right now the biggest problem with Bo Nickal is his mentality. Like, the guy wants to be perfect so bad that he ends up being half of what he could have been, because his performance against Paul Craig was not a shitty performance. It was just a lacking performance against a guy like Paul Craig. People are saying, yeah, but it's Paul Craig, bro. But it's Paul Craig, bro. Bro, Paul Craig has a body. The guy literally is incapable of throwing punches. And if you're limiting the fight against Paul Craig to a striking match, because Paul Craig is not gonna take you down. He doesn't have the biggest of takedown offense. So if you're limiting yourself to a striking match against Paul Craig, how are you gonna make this look even competitive? Like, is the worst look that you could have on a fight against a guy like him. So I think Bo Nickal, even though he won the fight, making it look close, like, this is one of those, I even saw in my video, like, guys who cannot afford to lose on UFC 309. There are some wins that lower your stock so much, and like, as I said, Bo Nickal needed to do a highlight reel against Paul Craig. Not even like, if you can go to a decision, but like, slam him down, bro. Like, get him on a double leg and throw him up. Like, do some DC shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't stand up there and look at him and throw like overhand, like some rights to the body that were actually look really good. But like, it was a performance of someone who's not prepared for the top 10. Like, it was a performance of someone who should not be talking that much shit that he was talking about Hamzat Chimaev, because the guy was saying like, yeah, bro, I will ragdoll Hamzat Chimaev. Like, my wrestling is way better than he is, and he doesn't even show his wrestling against the biggest competition that he had, and he got his wrestling stuffed and got taken out by Cody Brundage. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I've been saying this for some time right now. Like, Bo Nickal is really good, but he's too like raw. He's raw for MMA. So I think we gotta tone it down with the Bo Nickal shit. Like, until he understands, until he gets his mentality right of like, yeah, bro, I gotta be like Hamzat Chimaev. Like, I gotta be like Habib, bro. They don't give a fuck about who they're facing. They're gonna go for your legs. They're gonna take you down and they're gonna mug you like on the ground. He gotta have this change of mentality of like, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be literally like perfect and do 1-2s and overhands. Like, no, bro, you gotta do what you gotta do. You are a hyped contender. You cannot be holding onto this all that you have of undefeated, because Hamzat Chimaev never did that. He went to wars. He went to war with Gilbert Burns. He uses everything that he has during the first round. So if you're gonna be holding to your all like this, you're never gonna get your confidence up. You're never gonna be like a guy like Hamzat Chimaev is right now. So I think that's it. Like, he gotta work on his confidence, his mental side, to be honest. Like and subscribe. Tune in for the next video.